introduction with your leukocyte disorder. So they are usually neoplastic and related disorder. So you have your leukemias and leukemoid reactions, okay, the myeloproliferative disorders, lymphoproliferative disorders, and even your plasma cell dyscrasias. Okay? And lymphoreticular malignancies associated with abnormal immunoglobulin synthesis. Okay? So, for leukemias, they are usually generalized neoplastic proliferation or accumulation of leukopoietic cells with or without involvement of the peripheral blood. So, usually, leukemias can be also manifested in not only in your peripheral blood but also in your bone marrow. Okay? So kaya yun yung nakalagay dyan without the involvement of the peripheral blood. And also, your leukemias could also be manifested in decreased um, macrophages. Okay? So classification of leukemias could be classified for chronological, okay, based on the natural history, cytologic, cause, okay, or classification based on the predominant cell type, which is the most commonly used classification, and classification based on the functional capacity of release mechanism, and classification based on localized proliferation of cell, okay, of the same type. Okay. So first, the chronologic classification. Okay. So first is acute leukemia. We could classify it based on the chronicity. So acute leukemia. This is the most common form of leukemia in children. Okay. In children. Why in children? Because it is sudden onset or short onset yung acute natin. And usually, commonly, okay, since this is acute or short in time, okay, manifestation, no, children pa lang or in adolescent period, doon na nagmamanifest yung leukemia. Okay? Characterized by rapid, okay, increase in numbers if immature blood cells, in the numbers of immature blood cells. So if ever, no, your leukemia, okay, could have an increased immature blood cell types but no maturation. Okay, meron lang siyang immature blood cells but walang matured blood cells. And then rapidly progressing and lasting for several days to 6 months or even 1 or 2 years or more. So still, no, kahit 2 years na yan, still acute form. Pero it could progress into chronic one. So for the chronic leukemia, okay, characterized by excessive buildup of relative mature but still abnormal white blood cells. So, anong meron naman dito? Kung kay acute, puro immature lang ang napoproduce, wala kang mature. Here in chronic, nagkakaroon ka ng mature cells but the mature cells are functionally abnormal or morphologically abnormal. Okay? So, mostly occur in older people. Bakit older people? Kasi nga, since this is chronic, long period of time. Okay, long period of time before it manifests. Okay, but can theoretically occur in any age group. So most patients live in minimum of 1 to 2 years or more, depending on the response of the on the therapy. Okay, next is subacute. So this is the line between acute and chronic. So sa subacute, lasting from 2 to 6 months or even 12 months. Same manifestation with acute leukemias. Okay, next, based on cytologic, so predominant cell. So this is the usual classification that we utilize. Okay, so first is acute myeloid and myeloblastic leukemia. Okay. Second is chronic myeloid leukemia. So for acute and chronic myeloid leukemia, okay, this for acute myeloid, the precursor involved is myelocytic. This in this granulocytic or myelocytic leukemia, okay, the type of cell involved is all granulocytes or all under myelocytic or myelocytic series. Okay, what are those under na myelocytic series? We do have your neutrophil, basophil, and eosinophil. Okay, so acute myeloid leukemia, acute myeloblastic leukemia, okay, chronic myeloid leukemia, okay, promyelocytic leukemia, myelomonocytic, and eosinophilic leukemia. So in these four, okay, usually the decreased form is most of the time lahat ng granulocyte, including the monocyte. Okay, bakit? Kasi po, okay, since ang problem natin is the myelo precursors, okay, the myelocytic precursors, you cannot produce a mature type of myeloid cells. But no, in a chronic, they can produce, but most of the time, no, they cannot produce normal or functioning myeloid mature cells. Okay. Next is lymphocytic or lymphoid leukemia. Okay, they can be classified as to acute lymphocytic leukemia and chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Okay, ALL and CLL. Okay, so dito naman, only involved natin ay lymphocytic in nature or lymphocytic series lang. Okay? Then on monocytic leukemia, of course, you have only the monocytic precursors. Okay? The precursors, monocytic precursors only. Next, for plasma cells, no, the B cell precursors. Okay? The B cell precursor usually involved pa rin ang lymphocytic. Okay? The mast cells. Okay? And histiocytic leukemia, megakaryocytic leukemia, and basophilic leukemia, which are all specific type of cell. Pero the common ones that we encounter is the lymphocytic and the myelocytic leukemia. Okay, next. Classification based on the functional capacity of the release mechanism. So, leukemic leukemia, so they would present if presence of immature or abnormal cells with WBC count greater than 15. O bakit nagkakaroon ng greater than 15? Because you produce immature blood cells, no, that usually matures abnormally. Okay, nagpa-produce ka ng immature cells that later on will produce abnormal mature cells and it will increase your WBC count. For subleukemic leukemia, okay, with immature abnormal cells in the peripheral blood and with WBC count less than 15. Okay? Bakit less than 15? Pag subleukemic, meron kang immature, okay, or abnormal cell, but this will be removed later on. Okay, kaya hindi tumataas yung number of WBC kasi mabilis siyang i-remove pag subleukemic. Okay? Pag aleukemic naman, no immature cells, okay, in the peripheral blood with WBC count less than 15. Bakit? Kasi wala ka nang napoproduce na cell. Okay? Aleukemic. Okay? So, hindi nagre-release ng maayos. Again, pag leukemic, nagre-release ka ng maayos in response to um, count of your WBC. Okay, pag subleukemic naman, meron kang konti na napoproduce. Okay, kaya usually may compensation pa rin. And aleukemic, wala ka nang napoproduce. Next, classification based on localized proliferation of cells of the same type. So, chloroma, okay, a type of myeloblastic leukemia wherein formation of tumors originating from periosum, okay, specifically in the skull, orbits, nasal sinuses, ribs, and vertebra, meaning from your flat bones. Okay? So, doon nagmumula yung ating myeloblastic leukemia. Pag myeloblastoma, okay, a focal malignant tumor composed of myeloblast or early myeloid precursor occurring outside the bone marrow. So kung ito within the bone marrow, si chloroma, si myeloblastoma is outside the bone marrow. And again, it is a malignant tumor. Okay? Myeloma, localized tumor proliferation of plasma cells in the marrow. Okay? Plasma cells in the marrow. Okay? Sa loob naman ng bone marrow ito. Okay? Localized lang. Pag lymphoma, okay, proliferation of one of the cell types of the lymphoprolific reticular tissue. It begins and involves lymph nodes direct, predominantly and sometimes, okay, other sites such as your spleen and GIT. Okay, so lymphoma is related with your lymph nodes. Okay, most of the time the organ involved is the lymph nodes. Okay, for the lymphoma. Okay, next we go to other classifications such as your leukemoid reaction. Okay, is a reactive but excessive leukocytosis characterized by presence of immature cells in the peripheral blood. Okay, so usually the cause of this is severe infection, hemolytic anemia, tuberculosis, and trichinella spiralis infestation. So later on, we will discuss this thoroughly. This is just an introduction. Okay. Next is myeloproliferative disorder. This is a group of neoplasm characterized by proliferation of myeloid tissue naman. Okay, myeloid tissue and elevation in one or more myeloid cell types in the peripheral blood. And you have again two types, your acute and chronic myeloproliferative disorder. Okay, so for the two types, for acute, you do have your myeloblastic leukemia, promyelocytic leukemia, myelomonocytic, and your Di Guglielmo syndrome. Okay, ano mapapansin nyo dito? Usually, of the all of the cells involved are immature cells with acute myeloproliferative. Pagka chronic naman, usually, okay, polycythemia vera, myelofibrosis with myeloid metaplasia, thrombocythemia, chronic myelogenous leukemia, and myelodysplastic syndrome. Anong meron dito? More on mature type. Okay, more on mature type of your myeloid precursors. Okay. Next, lymphoproliferative disorders represent a group of neoplastic condition originating from cells of lymphoreticular system. So, types of lymphoproliferative disorder, your acute lymphoid leukemia, chronic lymphoid leukemia, and your hairy cell leukemia, including your mycosis fungoides and Sézary syndrome. So, anong meron dito? Okay? Um, okay. For acute lymphoid leukemia, so again, very, very short duration, okay, involving your lymph nodes, okay, and lymphoproliferative cells. Okay, pagka-chronic naman, more on mature lymphoproliferative cells. When it comes to hairy cell, composed of small B lymphocyte with abundant cytoplasm that usually looks like hair, okay, with just fine cytoplasmic projection. When it comes to mycosis fungoides and Sézary syndrome, usually this is also known as Albert's Basin syndrome and most common form of cutaneous T-cell lymphoma. So kung si hairy cell ay B-cell, ito si mycosis fungoides ay T-cell lymphoma. As a lymphoreticular neoplasm primarily involving your skin. So as the disorder evolves, neoplastic cell infiltrates the lymph node and other visceral organ. Okay. Next, plasma cell dyscrasia and lymphopreticular malignancy associated with abnormal immunoglobulin. So, um, first is your multiple myeloma. So, increase in antibodies. such as no, other name ng multiple myeloma is plasmatocytoma, then Colher's disease. No, it is a neoplastic proliferation of morphologically abnormal plasma cells. Primarily, it occurs in the bone marrow, either in the nodules or diffusely. So, yan. Okay. So again, this is due to antibodies. Next is Waldenstrom. Macroglobulinemia is an common condition, okay, which behaves as a slow progressive lymphoma, okay, and proliferation of cell which produce monoclonal IgM paraprotein. Okay, IgM paraprotein naman when it comes to Waldenstrom. For other leukocyte disorder, your infectious mononucleosis, so other name is glandular fever, Pfeiffer's fever, kissing disease, okay, characterized by fever, sore throat, lymphadenopathy, and atypical lymphocyte in the blood, wherein T cells usually reacts with B lymphocyte infected with your Epstein-Barr virus. And this is associated with high titer of your heteropyl antibody reacting usually with your sheep red cells. And for histiocytosis or storage diseases, this usually presents a group of disease with abnormal proliferation of mesenchymal cells that are closely related with phagocytic histiocytes and to fat cells. So usually due to inborn error of metabolism and genetically transmitted, such as example is your um, sphingomyelin deficiency. Okay. Next is systemic lupus erythematosus. So it's a collagen disease which affects women commonly and characterized by skin rash, primarily a wolf rash or butterfly rash. Okay. Arthralgia or pain in the joints and fever with renal and cardiac involvement and vascular lesions manifested with anemia, leukopenia, and thrombocytopenia with presence of three antibodies, usually your anti-DNP and anti-DNA, and your anti-nuclear DNA. And lastly, other leukocyte disorder is your AIDS or your acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, wherein this is a disorder secondary to infection of your HIV. Okay, this is a retrovirus, usually cytotropic for CD4. Okay, so let's start with your leukocyte-related disorder. So mainly, we will be discussing the most common disorders that are related with your leukocytes. Okay, so for leukocytes, they are classified as phagocytes or immunocytes, wherein granulocytes include neutrophils, eosinophils, and even basophils. Okay, so granulocytes include your lymphocytes and monocytes. So again, basically, your lymphocytes and monocytes are also
Recording in
granulocytes.
progress.
Okay, but the granules are very fine that can be seen in right field microscopy. Okay, so the reference interval for WBC is usually around 5 to 11 or usually 4 to 11. Okay, more than that would be um, usually related to infection, allergic reaction, or even parasitic infection. Okay, so okay, so for the CD markers are surface proteins expressed in by the cell lines wherein at different maturation stage. So every CD or cell differentiating factor, okay, is present in every part of your cell or even in specific cells. Okay, so for a while, let me. Okay, so again, your cell differentiating markers or surface proteins expressed by specific cell lines at different maturations and stages. So, your CD2 and CD3 are usually present in lymphoid progenitors, okay? And usually in pan T cells. Okay. Then your CD4 are also markers for your helper or inducer T cell, wherein these cells are the one, okay, affected by your HIV. Okay. So CD8 now is your suppressor or cytotoxic T cells marker. Okay. So usually your CD8 is related um with suppression of your viral infection. Then in CD13, this is for panmyeloid, and then for CD11C and 14, which is found or a marker for your monocyte. Okay. And CD19 and 20 are for lymphoid, specifically for pan B cell. Okay. For CD33, pan-myeloid cells. So most of the myeloid cells um, presents with your CD33. And your CD34, this is our stem cell markers for lymphoid and myeloid precursors. And your CD16 and 56 is for NK cell. The usually or frequently most asked question is your NK cells for in 66. Okay? 66, CD16 and CD56. Then your CD4 and CD8, which is your induced helper T cell and your cytotoxic T cell. So we do have a lot of CD markers, but these are the usually asked or the most common one. So we have more than 200 CD known markers, and usually, as cell matures, they vanish and some arises. Okay? Okay. So for leukocyte disorder, so we already discussed the introduction wherein we differentiate we group them as to malignant and non-malignant. So first is your non-malignant. For non-malignant, we will be having your non-malignant granulocytic disorder, monocytic disorder, lymphocytosis associated with viral infection, and even lymphocytosis associated with non-viral infection. Then for malignant leukocyte disorder, we do have acute lymphoproliferative disorders, chronic, and then other lymphoid malignancies. We also have your acute myeloproliferative and the chronic counterpart of it, and your myelodysplastic syndrome. Okay. So let's first have your non-malignant leukocyte disorder, wherein we have your granulocytic disorder first. So for non-malignant granulocytic disorders, this is composed of the following. So we have the shift, okay, or the physiologic or pseudo-neutrophilia, wherein this is correlated with the increase, okay, of your neutrophil. Okay. Then pathologic neutrophilia. Okay. There is usually some infection correlating with the presence or increase of number of your neutrophils. Then you have your leukomoid reactions and leukoerythroblastic reaction, neutropenia, and the increase and decrease of your eosinophil, basophil, okay, and functional disorder of your neutrophils. Then nuclear abnormalities of neutrophils and inherited cytoplasmic abnormalities. So for shift and physiologic pseudo neutropenia, this is usually deals with the redistribution of blood pools. So ano yan? Okay? We redistribute the blood pools as to the need. How? Okay? In short-term increase of total WBC count, usually in cases of infection, the absolute number of neutrophils in the circulating granulocyte pool are migrated in the site of infection in order for it to have an increased number and to eliminate already the antigen causing the infection. Or usually, okay, the myeloid progenitor cells are focusing in um, maturation and differentiation of your neutrophils if the body already detect that the infection is in bacterial form. Okay? So, can be also caused by stress, exercise, pain, and pregnancy. So during this time, your exercise, pain and stress, no, usually stimulates your bone marrow to produce or increase number of your cells due to your active, okay, active metabolism and hormones related onto this tree. Same as with your pregnancy, since you do have double circulation of your blood, and also your the mother, okay, also supplies the cells into the baby. Usually there is pseudo neutrophilia wherein, okay, there is a false increase of neutrophil as to this case. Okay, it is not a response to tissue damage. So usually your shift or physiologic, no, physiologic, a normal, not for tissue damage. More on that is just related to the hormones, okay, natural activity of the body, okay, or in the total blood granulocyte pool in the blood will not change, okay, and the bone marrow has not released any immature cells for that case. Okay. So again, this is not for tissue damage causing inflammation. Usually, this is just a normal process increasing of your neutrophils. Next, pathologic neutrophilia. Ito na. So for pathologic neutrophilia, this is usually shift to the left with toxic changes to the neutrophils. Okay? The neutrophil leaves the circulating pool and enters to the marginating pool wherein they move to the tissue in response to tissue damage. Okay? So if ever that there is a tissue damage and you need a response as to that damage, that is now your pathologic, okay? Abnormal increase in neutrophils. Okay? So usually it is shift to the left. Okay. The logic behind the shift to the left and shift to the right is just that when you say shift to the left, most commonly the counting chamber in the differential counter, if you are, if you're already practicing, or you have seen a differential counter, or any counting chamber for not counting chamber, the differential counter per se, or the counting tally counter for WBC. On the left side, you will notice that it is composed, or going to the left, okay, it is composed of immature cells. And going to the right, it is mature cells. Okay, so the shift to the left is in relation to the WBC differential counting machine. Okay, that's why shift to the left and shift to the right. Okay, the toxic changes are usually, okay, increase in their granules, okay, toxic granulation, or even changes in their shape or ingesting your antigen material. Okay, then the bone marrow increases production of neutrophil to replenish the reserves due to the migration of your neutrophils to your site of damage or inflammation. Okay. Response to bacterial and other infections, tissue destruction, drugs, okay, and growth factors. So usually we do have a around um again, the normal value is 11, no, and the highest 11 to 15 usually, but as your pathologic neutropenia, it can increase up to 50, okay, times 10 raised to 9, and usually the bone marrow, okay, will respond as to the infection and occurs on bacterial, no? More on bacterial because again, your neutrophil are specific for bacterial infection. Next, leukemoid reaction. Okay. A leukemoid reaction is a transient increase in WBC count defined as significant neutrophilia more than 50. Okay. Around 50, okay, neutrophils in the absence of myeloproliferative. neoplasm, meaning there is no cancer involved, but you do have an increase on neutrophils, okay, on your peripheral blood for more than 50 counts. Okay, so this is seen in chronic myelogenous leukemia, okay, CML, and this is usually benign, okay, benign and extreme response to specific agent or stimuli, okay, that triggers your response as to the neutrophils. Okay, the WBC count can increase between 50 and 100 and shift to the left with toxic changes to the neutrophil. So since this is a response to a stimuli, you would manifest with shift to the left, okay, increase in immature precursor and the toxic changes as to your neutrophils. Okay. Next is leukoerythroblastic reaction, wherein this is presence of immature leukocytes and immature nucleated erythrocytes in the blood. And usually, these nucleated erythrocytes are mistakenly as WBC. Okay, since they are nucleated and occurs in a marrow replacement disorder such as myelofibrosis. So during this time, both your WBC and RBC are increasing in number. Okay. For neutropenia, pinya meaning decrease. Okay? Pag philia, pataas or increase. So this is a decrease in absolute number of neutrophil wherein there is a risk of infection increases as neutropenia worsens. So if you do have decreased neutropenia, decreased neutrophil during neutropenia, you would have you will be susceptible for possible infections. Okay, so this is also due to the bone marrow production defects such as in chronic or severe infection. So, usually, our immune system could be overwhelmed, okay, during infection, and they cannot produce as fast as they can. Okay, and the consumed cells are already in max. That's why there would be a decrease as to your count of your circulating pool kasi nagamit na. So yung count mo bababa kasi nagamit na and yung body mo cannot compensate as to the gamit, okay, due to severe infection. Hypersplenism. Okay, hypersplenism usually causes neutrophils to be removed in the circulation. So during hypersplenism, there will be an increase in size of your spleen, wherein it could obstruct the blood flow in the spleen or decrease the blood flow, limiting the release or the giving back of the cells in the circulation. That's why there would be also neutropenia during hypersplenism. Okay, in the bone marrow, injury or bone marrow infiltration and even suppression by drugs and chemicals, okay, usually in bone marrow injury, this is due to aplastic anemia. Okay, if we remember in anemia, okay, aplastic anemia it can manifest with pancytopenia, meaning all cells are decreased, including your neutrophils. Okay? In bone marrow infiltration, wherein this could be in form of leukemia, myelodysplastic syndrome, or even in metastatic cancer, wherein the bone marrow is being destroyed or malfunctioning due to the presence of these abnormalities. Okay? And then in the bone marrow suppression, okay, by chemical or drugs, usually via chemotherapy, wherein your bone marrow are being destroyed or being suppressed to release new cells in order for the body to stop the mutations. Okay? Then in the DNA synthesis defect, usually this is due to your vitamin B12 and folic acid deficiency. Okay? And infections, okay, usually are associated with neutropenia. Bakit? Bakit in viral infection? Because in viral infection, ano ang mataas? Usually it's your lymphocytes. Okay, kaya in viral infection, mababa ang neutrophils, mas mataas ang lymphocyte. For some viral infection, okay? Some viral infection has also neutropenia. For example, dengue fever could also manifest as neutropenia. Okay? Okay. Next is eosinophilia and eosinopenia. So, eosinophilia, an increase in absolute number of eosinophils associated with usually parasitic infection, allergic reaction, and even chronic inflammation. Okay? In the um, in the chronic myelogenous leukemia, the the eosinophilia is also increased. Kasi on your chronic myelogenous leukemia, all of your cells in your myeloid progenitor series would be increased. Okay, so usually in you could also include here your Hodgkin's lymphoma, okay, the tumors that could also increase eosinophil count. Then for eosinopenia, usually this is not used as a term because in a normal cell counting, usually we don't see eosinophils in the circulating blood. Okay, and we only usually report neutrophils and lymphocytes. That's why this is very rarely um, mentioned or used as a term. But this is a decrease in absolute number of eosinophils and usually related into acute inflammation and acute inflammatory reaction. Okay? This is usually due to the release of glucocorticoids and epinephrine that decreases the count of your neutrophil. Okay? Next, basophilia and basopenia. So for basophilia, okay, it is an increase in the absolute number of basophils. Okay? And basophilia field. This is associated with this following conditions, such as your type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. So your basophil is basically related to allergic reactions. Okay? Your chronic myelogenous leukemia, again, okay, all myelogenous progenitors could be increased in chronic myelogenous leukemia. And bakit hindi po sa acute? Kasi, di ba, almost same lang. Again, in acute, usually we see only immature cells. But in chronic, can see okay, mature cells, such as your basophil, monocyte, okay, neutrophil, and even your eosinophil. Okay. Also, there could be relative transient basophilia that can be seen in patients that are taking hematologic growth factors in order to stimulate your cell production. Okay? So for basopenia, on the other hand, so also same with eosinopenia, we rarely utilize this word because of normally the low number of your basophils in the circulation. Okay? Excuse me. And decrease in the absolute number of basophil is your basophenia. And difficult to diagnose because again, they are low in reference range. Okay? They are low in reference range. And usually we can only see this during inflammation or even in immunologic reactions. Okay, but again, since it has a low reference range number or value, okay, we don't usually utilize the word basopenia. Okay. Functional disorder of the neutrophil. So we do have your chronic granulomatous disease. Okay? So first is chronic granulomatous disease or your CGD. This affects your both sex, okay, and autosomal recessive in inheritance. So the ratio between males and females. So the males as to females is 6 is to 1 as to distribution or the ratio. Then morphologically normal, but they have enzyme deficiency causing, okay, the dysfunction of your neutrophils. Okay, so this one, okay, results into if you have deficiency in the enzyme in neutrophil, there would be inability to degranulate, meaning to release the granules. Okay, that would help in okay healing or eliminating your antigen of concern. Okay, usually they cannot inhibit bacterial growth or they cannot respond as to bacterial infection. Okay. This could be fatal in early life due to possible severe um, bacterial infection causing death. Okay? So kaya they are fatal in early life because no there is no other response of the body as to the newborns and even in the younger children. Okay. Next, in Chiajak-Higashi. Okay, Chiajak-Higashi syndrome is also a functional disorder of neutrophils, wherein your Chiajak-Higashi syndrome is an autosomal recessive disorder, both morphologically and functionally abnormal leukocytes. So they cause large gray-green peroxidase positive granules in the cytoplasm of your leukocytes, wherein this could be an abnormal fusion of primary and secondary neutrophilic granules, um, rendering them dysfunctional. Okay? So, nag-fuse imbis na magkahiwala yung primary at secondary granules mo, in this case, on Chejak Higashi, okay, nag-combine sila. Okay, rendering them dysfunctional. Okay? On both morphologically and on patients, okay, so in patients will present with photophobia, which is a hallmark of your Chiajak-Higashi, and skin hypopigmentation or albinism. Okay? Okay? Then this is also fatal in early life. Same with um your chronic granulomatous disease, okay? Since the infants or newborns or younger children doesn't have enough capacity or immune response as to your infection, possibly, okay, this could be fatal in their early life. Next, nuclear abnormalities of your neutrophil. Okay, we mentioned this already on your leukopoiesis, wherein we do have hypersegmentation, which is characterized by five or more lobules. So in other books, more than six or more. Okay, hyposegmentation refers to the tendency in the neutrophils to have one or two lobes only seen in your Pelger-Huet and pseudo-Pelger-Huet. So, in hypersegmentation, madaming lobules, madaming segmentation ng ating nucleus. Usually, we associate this with megaloblastic anemia and due to your folic acid and vitamin B12 deficiency. Okay, so next is your hyposegmentation, wherein this could be may indicate a shift to the left, okay, of your neutrophils, meaning they could be an immature one or signaling that there is immature release of your neutrophil in the circulation. So let's differentiate your Pelger-Huet and pseudo Pelger-Huet. Okay, so your Pelger-Huet anomaly, okay, on autosomal dominant inheritance, and the nucleus is hyperclump. Okay, hyperclump, wherein it does not mature past the two lobe stage kasi 'di ba ang ano lang yung two lobe stage natin usually in the in the manifestation of your band cell, okay, in the band cell or in the segmentation that fails to proceed on another segmentation. Okay, nucleus is usually dumbbell or peanut shape, which is referred to as pin's nest appearance. Okay? Pin's nest appearance. Morphologically, they are abnormal but functionally normal. So ano lang problema dito with Pelger-Huet? Yung itsura lang. Wala tayong problema when it comes to bacterial response or into infection response of your neutrophil. It is just that they have morphological dysfunction, disfigurement. Okay. Then we do this is most differentiate or must differentiate from a shift to the left associated with infection or toxic changes. Okay, bakit? Kasi your shift to the left, okay, the release of immature cells in the circulation can also manifest with hyposegmentation of your neutrophils because, okay, the only being, the majority of the circulating neutrophils are in segmented form. And if we do see band form or hyposegmentation, we could relate this to again your shift to the left. Okay? But usually, okay, this is normal pa rin. Okay? Then, pseudo-Pelger-Huet, pseudo meaning false. Okay? An acquired abnormality but can also be drug-induced. Okay? This could be also drug-induced. And usually, the nucleus is round instead of a dumbbell shape that is seen in the anomaly. Okay? So, this could be also seen in myeloproliferative disorder and myelodysplastic syndrome. So frequently accompanied with hypogranulation. So in your Pelger-Huet, normal ang granulation. Ang abnormal lang sa kanya is yung nucleus which is not segmented more than 2. So in pseudo false Pelger-Huet, okay, how to differentiate with Pelger-Huet, ito walang granules. Okay, ito walang granules. Okay. Next, inherited cytoplasmic anomalies. For inherited cytoplasmic anomalies, you do have your May-Hagelin anomaly, wherein this is an autosomal dominant inheritance. And morphologically, okay, morphologically, they are abnormal because of large crystalline, okay, doll-like inclusion in the cytoplasm of your neutrophil. So usually, these granules stain gray to blue and spindle or sugar shape. Okay? But they are functionally normal. Para lang silang your Pelger-Huet. Okay? And also, this is related to your giant platelets and thrombocytopenia, which is also have a bleeding tendency. Next, Alder-Riley anomaly, wherein this is an autosomal recessive inheritance. Okay? They have the large azurophilic granules naman. Pagka Alder-Riley, azurophilic, A for A, azurophilic granules. Okay? And usually, these granules contain degraded mucopolysaccharides. Okay? So morphologically abnormal but functionally normal. Okay? Should be differentiated with toxic granulation because the granules of your Ayerdel-Rayleigh anomaly could be sometimes um, mistaken for your toxic granulation due to the large, okay, size of its granules. Okay? Next, malignant monocytic disorder. So let's proceed to your monocytic cells. So for monocytic cells, um, usually we have monocytosis, okay, lipid storage disease, um, and monocytopenia. So let's proceed. So for monocytosis, this is increase in the absolute number of monocyte, which is associated with recovery stage, okay, bacterial infection, and autoimmune disorder. So usually, okay, the bacterial infection in monocytosis is due to bacterial infection caused by usually tuberculosis, syphilis, okay, and endocarditis, subacute endocarditis. Okay? And in autoimmune disorder, your SLE could manifest with monocytosis, so increased in number of your monocyte, and even in rheumatoid arthritis. Okay? In recovery stage, usually the recovery stage we are mentioning here is the utilization of your, excuse me, of your what do you call this? Immunosuppressive drugs. Okay? The immunosuppressive drugs, okay? After utilizing your immunosuppressive drugs, your body will recover from it and could manifest with monocytosis. Okay, on lipid storage disorder. Okay, we do have your Gaucher disease. Okay, on Gaucher disease, this is usually most common lipid storage and has an autosomal recessive form. Okay, okay, and this is a deficiency on glucocerebrosidase, G4G, glucocerebrosidase. So your glucocerebrosidase accumulates in your macrophages, okay, in the bone marrow or even in spleen or liver, causing your um, Gaucher cells to be seen more in your bone marrow. But it can be seen also in your spleen and your due to your sorry, your liver and spleen. Okay. Next is your Napickman disease wherein it has an autosomal recessive inheritance. Okay, autosomal recessive inheritance pattern, and usually this is related naman with sphingomyelinase. Okay, sphingomyelinase, okay, deficiency. Okay, on your sphingomyelinase deficiency, okay, it will sorry, not deficiency. The problem with sphingomyelin, okay, okay, the sphingomyelin will accumulate due to, okay, ayan, naalala ko na. Due to deficiency of sphingomyelinase. Okay, your sphingomyelinase is your enzyme that degrades your sphingomyelin. So due to the absence of your sphingomyelinase, okay, there would be a decrease or sorry, an increased accumulation of your sphingomyelin in your macrophages. Okay? Macrophages. Baka malito kayo, sinasabi ko macrophage kasi your monocyte will mature later on in your tissues as macrophages. Okay. So next is C-blue histiocytosis. So on your C-blue histiocytosis, this is usually related to unknown. No, there's still in further studies if what is the cause of this C-blue histiocytosis. But the macrophage are usually seen in a C-blue appearance. Okay? Next, Tay-Sachs. For Tay-Sachs disease naman, usually this is an autosomal recessive and due to the mutation on the enzyme hexosaminidase. Okay? On hexosaminidase naman, okay, which this would prevent, okay, or it will degrade your buildup of harmful lipids, fatty materials in the cell. You do have a deficiency with hexosaminidase and in your mess. Okay, next, Fabry disease. For Fabry disease naman, okay, these are usually X-linked in manner and um known to be what do you call this? Um an alpha galactosidase deficiency. Okay? Alpha galactosidase deficiency wherein this could be related in inherited neurological disorder that could manifest. Okay, it is being manifested due to the decrease in alpha galactosidase. Okay, wherein they cannot efficiently break down fatty materials, so the fatty materials will accumulate. Okay, in the smaller components of your so that is your Fabry disease. Next, for yung monocytopenia. For monocytopenia, okay, there would be a decrease in absolute number of monocytes. Okay, decrease naman ng monocyte. So, And this is associated usually in stem cell disorder such as your aplastic anemia. Kasi again, during aplastic anemia, the hallmark is pancytopenia. Okay, you do have decrease in number of all cell types. So we're done with neutrophils, monocyte. We go now to your non-malignant lymphocytosis associated with viral infection. So in viral infection, usually these are the viral infection related to increase in lymphocytes, such as your infectious mononucleosis caused by Epstein-Barr virus, okay? Your cytomegalovirus, your infectious lymphocytosis, hepatitis, influenza, mumps, measles, rubella, and even varicella. So we will not discuss this further. This will be discussed on your mycology and virology. Okay. Non-malignant lymphocytosis associated with non-viral infection. Okay, ano naman yan? Usually, this is caused by bacterial infection such as your pertussis caused by um, or causing your whooping cough. Okay, the whooping cough, the Bordetella pertussis. Okay, the whooping cough. Then the brucellosis. Okay, and your parasitic, your fungal infection is your toxoplasmosis. Next is malignant leukocyte disorder. So we're done with non-malignant. We proceed now to your malignant. So in malignant, usually leukemia originates in the bone marrow and is essentially systemic. So usually these stills stills remain to be related to viral infection, bone marrow damage, and even chromosomal abnormalities or immune dysfunction or malignant disorders. Okay, so usually, okay, you have lymphoma originating in lymphoid tissue and is initially localized. So again, um, usually malignant leukocyte disorders are caused by no viral infection, such as your retroviruses, causing originate possible originating factor for oncogenes. Okay, bone marrow damage in your radiation and chemotherapy, and even damage due to metastatic cancers. Okay, in chromosomal defect, usually we do have your leukemic subtype of chromosome 15, long arm 17, wherein this is diagnostic marker for your acute promyelocytic leukemia. Okay? And even genetic factors could be lead to malignant leukocyte disorder such as your Down syndrome, yan, yung mga ganyan. And yan, of course, immune dysfunction. So, we do have a classification as to your malignant. Okay? We do have first is your FAV or your French American British classification and the World Health Organization classification. So, first, classify your hematopoietic malignancy as to uh, groups. Okay? Your FAB classification is based on cellular morphology. Okay? Morphology and cytochemical stain result. Okay? Morphology and cytochemical stain result. And usually it is around 30%. Okay, at your FAB classification defines your leukemia as more than 30% of the bone marrow blast. So pag FAB more than 30%. Pag WHO naman classification, it is based on cellular morphology then and cytochemical stains then. But okay, in addition to that, they utilize information obtained from immunologic probe of cell marker. Okay? cytogenetics, molecular abnormalities, and even clinical syndrome. So, mas madami siyang kinoconsider unlike your FAB classification. And in addition to that, okay, the WHO classification lowers the criteria for the blast in the bone marrow into more than 20%. So more than 20%, you could be defined as already acute leukemia. Okay? And the WHO is the now, okay, is now the standard for diagnosing your leukemias. And but still, your FAB is okay, still utilized in teachings in academies, no? But we already utilize for diagnosing is your WHO classification. So, acute versus chronic leukemias. So, nadaanan natin to sa introduction. So, as to duration, this is acute. So, acute is several weeks to months without treatment. And chronic survival is years without treatment. Okay, the predominating cell types, usually in acute, you do have your AML and ALL. Pag AML, myeloblast. Pag ALL, you have lymphoblast. Pag acute, usually in the form of blast. Acute, cute na bata. Okay, cute na bata. Kaya blast, bata. Okay? Cute na bata, blast. Okay? Kaya AML and ALL are acute. Then chronic, okay, this is old na site. Ayan, oh, may site. Site for C. Chronic, C for site. Okay? Yan. CML is chronic myelogenous leukemia wherein your granulocytes are mainly involved. And chronic um, lymphocytic leukemia wherein your lymphocytes are the one involved. So again, pag A, acute, cute na bata. Okay, may blast. Chronic C for site. Ayan, yung palatandaan natin, ha? Yung kakalimutan. Kasi pag chronic, mature na yung cells. Pagka acute, usually blast cells pa yung nakikita natin. Okay. So this is the table differentiating your acute versus chronic leukemia. So for acute, usually they presents with weakness and fatigue due to anemia. Okay, bakit? Kasi ang affected dito ay blast cells. So wala ka na po-produce na mature cells kaya nagkakaroon ka ng manifestation of anemia. Okay? Petechiae and bruising due to thrombocytopenia. Same. Okay? Mababa yung cells mo na mature kaya nagkakaroon ka ng thrombocytopenia. Okay? Same as neutropenia. Okay? You could manifest with fever and infection. Okay? Variable leukocyte count. But usually, your leukocyte count in the peripheral blood smear is decreased. Okay? Is decreased. And the marrow blast is percent is 20% based on the WHO, and in the FAB classification 30%. Okay? Okay. With cellularity of around 70%. So pag chronic naman, anemia is mild or absent. Bakit? Kasi still your cells are producing mature ones, and the mature one is the one affected in your chronic type of leukemia. Okay. Normally, to slightly increase platelet count. Kasi nga, no, hindi naman problema ang production dito eh, usually. Ano nagiging problem dito? The maturation. Okay, na nagpo-produce ka but it doesn't mature enough or it has a problem with the maturation itself or the components. Okay? The WBC count is usually high due to negative feedback mechanism. Bakit nagkakaroon ng negative feedback mechanism? So your body is decreasing the number of WBC because it detects that it is dysfunctional. Okay, so nire-remove niya yung yung mature cells mo since they are dysfunctional or abnormal. So, anong ginagawa ng katawan mo? You make and make and make and make and more of your cells. Kasi nga, tinatanggal ng katawan mo dahil defective. The marrow cellularity is more than 70%. So both acute and chronic, usually unexplained weight loss is present or night sweats. Okay, they could present both with splenomegaly and hepatosplenomegaly with lymphadenopathy. Okay, so those are seen in both chronic and acute. So in the treatment of acute and chronic, okay, usually chemotherapy is used in dependent on type of the leukemia. So you need to diagnose it properly. And no, same with other type of malignancies. It depends on the response as to the therapy. Okay, every person has a different approach or different acceptance as to the therapy. Pwede kayong pareho kayong acute lymphocytic leukemia. But no, yung isa gumagana yung IL-1, sa'yo ayaw gumana ng IL-1 as a therapy. So mga ganyan. Okay? So depende pa rin yan. Kaya you need to still properly diagnose them. Okay? Radiation. Okay, we could do radiation to suppress your production and kill abnormal cells. Okay? Bone marrow and stem cell transplant in order for you to stimulate normal production of normal cell, normal and functional cell. In supportive treatment with transfusion, specifically in red blood cells and platelet, due to the anemia present and thrombocytopenia, you could also support it with antibiotics for those who are susceptible for infection and with infection, and growth factors for those who have decreased production of your cells. So next, okay, we go to the proper malignant leukocyte disorders. Okay, so first is acute lymphoproliferative disorders. So minus one, these are unregulated proliferation of lymphoid stem cells. So they are classified morphologically using five criteria or your WHO. Now, no, with the WHO, you could utilize your immunological using CD markers, okay, to differentiate your T cell from B cell. But no, we do have the Fab classification as to this. So Fab L1, Fab L2, L3, and your Burkitt's lymphoma. So clinical symptoms usually they present with fever, joint and bone pain, and bleeding disorder with accompanied with your hepatosplenomegaly. Why? Because a fever could be related to in the infection. The bone and joint pain are related to the overstimulation of your bone marrow in producing cells and bleeding due to the decreased um, functionality of your platelet or even the coagulation factors due to the increased size of your liver. That could be a hindrance in the proper regulation of your coagulation factors. Okay? So in the laboratory, we usually see neutropenia, okay? Um, anemia and thrombocytopenia. So, sir, bakit neutropenia pa? Ano? Lymphoproliferative. So your bone marrow is usually focused on producing lymphocytes. Kaya there would be decrease in neutrophils, red blood cells, and thrombocytes because they are all myeloid progenitors. Okay? So, imbes na yung pluripotent stem cell mo will divide into two, into myeloid and lymphoid, wala na tayo napupunta sa myeloid. More on nagpo-focus na lang si katawan into producing your lymphocyte due to this possible disorders. Okay? There would be variable WBC count and hypercellular marrow with bone marrow blast of approximately more than 20% by the WHO or 30% as to the FAB classification. Okay. So lymphoblast, okay, stains PAS positive or your periodic acid shift. Okay? And Sudan B and myeloperoxidase negative. So PAS, okay, your PAS is for lymphocyte. Okay? PAS is for lymphocyte or your periodic acid shift. is for lymphocytes. So then black B is usually for myelocytes and even your myeloperoxidase. Kaya they would stain negative in your acute lymphoproliferative disorder. Okay? So on FAB classification of acute lymphoblastic leukemia or ALL, we do have first is your FAB L1. This is the most common childhood leukemia. Okay? With an age peak of 2 to 10 years old. This can also be found in young adults and they possess small lymphoblast that is homogeneous in appearance. Okay? This type of your acute lymphoblastic lymphoproliferative disorder has the most best prognosis, the FAB L1, between the four. And mostly T cells, okay, are affected in your ALL in your FAB L1. So this is for T cell. For FAB L2, okay, um, most commonly seen in adults. Okay, ito sa bata yung L1, yung L2 in adults. So kung sa L1 ay small lymphoblast, dito naman large lymphoblast. And kung dito homogeneous, dito naman heterogeneous. Okay, in appearance. Pag PAB L3, okay, that is the leukemic phase of your Burkitt's lymphoma. Okay, wherein you can see this in both adult and children. So ito children, ito adult, ito both. Okay? Lymphoblasts are large also, okay, with uniform and prominent nucleoli. The cytoplasm usually stains um, deeply basophilic and may show vacuoles. But again, so ito ang with the poorest prognosis of them all. Okay. And the cell lineage is your B cell. Again, this is T cell and the best prognosis, the L1. The worst prognosis is your L3 and it is in the form of B cell lineage. Okay. On your Burkitt's lymphoma, okay, they are high-grade non-Hodgkin lymphoma, phase of your FAB L3. So yung FAB L3 mo may phase na Burkitt lymphoma. This is usually endemic in East Africa with high association with your Epstein-Barr virus and usually present in the jaw and facial bone tumors. So, yeah, the Burkitt's lymphoma. Next, okay, for immunotyping of your acute lymphoblastic leukemia, okay, the CD marker characteristic of B cell lineage, okay, wherein it is expressed by specific cell lines, okay, a different at different maturation stage. Okay, as your cell matures, no, some antigens are being loose and some are expressing new ones. Okay, next is progenitor B cell. Okay, which are usually CD19, 34, and with um, terminal deoxynucleotidyl transferase or your TDT positive and CD10 negative or CALA negative. Okay? So and this is the most um, or the least mature type of B cell. Okay, in your uh, next is your early pre-B cell ALL. Okay? Wherein this is now, kung kanina kala negative or CD10 negative si progenitor B cell, sa early pre-B cell, KCD10 positive, K19 and 34, and even your TDTR positive. So lahat na ay positive sa early pre-B cell. Kung dito kanina, tatlo lang, your 19, 34, and TDTR positive, and your CD10 is negative, dito lahat na. 19, 34, 10, and TDT. Okay? Then on your pre-B cell, ALL, okay, your positive with your CD10, 19, 20, and TDT. Okay? Which is, this is also the most second most common type. Okay? So kanina dito, 34, napalitan siya dito ng 20. And the B cell ALL or early B cell, okay? On your early B cell, Um, they are positive with CD19 and 20, but they are negative with your TDT. Okay? Tandaan, lahat dito, ang positive lang ay CD19. Okay? It is expressed on all stages of your B lineage. Okay? So again, on B cell, ALL or early B, 19 and 20 only. Okay? Pag pre-B cell, 10, 19, 20, and TDT. Pagka early pre-B, 10, 19, 34, TDT. Okay? At pagka progenitor B cell, 19, 34, TDT. Okay? Ang positive lang. Negative pa dito ang CD10. Okay? So, next is for your T cell lineage naman. So, differentiated from B cell using marker present naman sa CD asa sa T cell. So, kung kanina puro B cell tayo nakafocus, year 19, 20, 34, um, 34, your TDT, and 10. Okay? Sa T cell naman, you could focus on your CD2, 3, 5, C and 7. Okay? Including your 4 and 8. 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. Okay? So differentiate from your B cell using marker on your T cells. Okay? And immature T cells can have both either CD4 or CD8 marker. Okay? Mature T cells have one or other but not both. So pagka immature pa ang T cell, pwede pang dalawa, CD4 and CD8. Pero pag mature T cell na, madi-differentiate mo lang siya into CD4 and CD8. CD4 for your helper T cell, okay? CD8 for your T cytotoxic cells. Okay? So, yan. Next, genetic translocations. Okay, are helpful in diagnosis, okay, specifically on your PABL3 and Burkitt's lymphoma. Okay? So, with the arrangement of your MYC oncogene, okay, the transcription factor while the array, so the DNA damage. And then the pre-B cell ALL associated with your chromosome 9 long arms 22. So, for your Burkitt's lymphoma pala and PABL3, this is associated with your chromosome 8 long arms 14. Pag pre-B cell ALL, chromosome 9, long arms 22. Pag T cell ALL, chromosome 11, long arms 11. Okay? 711, 922, okay? 1814. Next, your chronic lymphoproliferative disorders. Okay, so for your chronic lymphoproliferative disorder, you do have your chronic lymphocytic leukemia, okay? Your hairy cell leukemia, and your pro-lymphocytic leukemia. So for your chronic lymphocytic leukemia or CLL, this is usually found in adults. Again, pagka-chronic, usually adults na. Okay? So usually 60 years old and more common in males. And the survival rate is around 5 to 10 years. They have B-cell malignancy. Okay, they are positive with CD19 and 20. Okay, often asymptomatic. Okay, and diagnosed usually pagka meron na lang manifestation ng other diseases. So for example, chronic infection, yan, pwede na siyang ma-diagnose. Okay? Then laboratory, bone marrow, hypercellular. Usually, the blood shows absolute lymphocytosis of more than 5 times 10 raised to 9. And homogeneous, small, hyperclamp lymphocytes and smudge cell are usually present. And anemia is not usually present. Okay? Unless pagka-cause nito ay warm autoimmune hemolytic anemia. So, possible na magkaroon ng anemia on that part. Okay. Next, on your hairy cell leukemia. So, again, found in adults, still B cell type malignancy, and you can manifest with massive splenomegaly. Okay? They are also CD19 and 20 positive. Okay. Bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng massive splenomegaly? Usually, okay, um, more on in the spleen, nagmamature ang B cell. Okay? More in the spleen, nagmamature in B cell. And if you do lumbar tap, you will not get any, what do you call this? Not lumbar tap. The bone marrow aspiration, you will not see any B cell. Okay, that is called dry tap kasi nasa spleen na siya. Kaya nagkakaroon ka ng massive splenomegaly. Okay? Laboratory, usually pancytopenia. Okay? And cytoplasm of lymphocytes shows hair-like projection, kaya nga hairy cell. Eh? And they are usually tartrate resistant positive. Okay? Tartrate resistant acid phosphatase positive. So they are trapped. So kung yung buhok mo, natatrap. Okay? Natrap yung buhok. Okay. Prolymphocytic leukemia or your PLL. Okay. This is again found usually in adults and can be either B cell or T cell malignancy. Okay. For T cell malignancy, um, so kaya kailangan natin dito ng marker. Your CD markers can be helpful in differentiating your B cell and T cell origin. So also, they could have yan, marked splenomegaly. Okay? And in the laboratory test, they would characterize by lymphocytosis of more than 100 in count, okay, with many pro-lymphocyte. And anemia and thrombocytopenia is evident. Okay? Evident. So both T cell and B cell are aggressive and responds poorly to treatment. Kaya this is the medyo poor ang prognosis ng pro-lymphocytic leukemia. Other lymphoid malignancies. First is you do have your plasma cell neoplasia. Okay, we already mentioned your multiple myeloma and Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia in your introduction, wherein they have production of your antibodies, okay, destroying or affecting your cell production. Next is your lymphoma. For lymphoma, non-Hodgkin lymphoma and classical form. Okay. Then you have non-Hodgkin and your mycosis fungoides, which is your T-cell lymphoma. So, na-mention na din natin yan on your um, introduction. Okay. Next is plasma cell neoplasia. Yan. Okay. Multiple myeloma, usually they have monoclonal gammopathy. Okay, and this monoclonal gammopathy is usually due to increased B cell production, wherein there would be excessive production of antibody, mostly in the form of your IgG or IgA. Okay, with decreased production of other immunoglobulins. Okay, they are found in adults over 60 years old and incidence is higher in males, okay, with multiple skeletal system tumors, okay, of plasma cells such as called as your myeloma cells, okay, causing lytic bone lesion and hypercalcemia. So, identified in serum protein electrophoresis wherein it manifests as an M spike. Multiple myeloma, pareho, dalawa yung M, kaya M spike of your gamma globulin region. Okay? Kaya nga IgG usually yung product or yung antibodies present in this one. Okay? And it could cause increased viscosity due to antibody presence of antibody. Okay. There could also be prolonged bleeding due to inappropriate binding of your antibodies to platelet, activating them, causing thrombocytopenia. Okay, that would manifest as prolonged bleeding. Okay, and then in laboratory diagnosis, we could utilize bone marrow aspiration, and the plasma cells usually is more than 30%. There would also be Mark-Rulu formation, okay, and increase ESR. So your Mark-Rulu formation is also related into ESR due to, okay, this is due to, na-mention natin, due to increased viscosity of your plasma or the blood due to your production, excessive production of your immunoglobulin. Okay? So again, we do have clumping of cells. That's why there would an increased ESR. So blue background to blood smear, and plasma cells and lymphocytes on the blood smear are also present. Okay. It could also manifest with the hallmark of your Benz-Jones protein in the urine. This is composed of your light chains of kappa and lambda, causing usually kidney damage. Okay, because this kind of protein is toxic to your renal tubular epithelial cells. Okay, next, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Okay. On this one, you could have monoclonal gammopathy, which is caused by B cell production in excessive of your IgM. Kung kanina si multiple myeloma, IgG ang excessive. Ngayon si IgM naman kay Waldenstrom. Okay? And decreased production of your other immunoglobulin. This is found again in older adults. Okay. And lymphadenopathy and his hepatosplenomegaly, okay, are eminent and no bone tumors. Identified on serum protein electrophoresis by an M spike also. Okay? So halos pareho sila ni um, multiple myeloma. Okay? So prolonged bleeding then due to the activation of your platelet. Okay? And almost same, no? With your multiple myeloma, ang pinagkaiba lang nila is the origin of your immunoglobulin. Next is lymphoma. Sorry for the typographical error. This is lymphoma. For lymphoma, okay, they are proliferation of malignant cell in solid lymphatic tissue. Okay, solid lymphatic tissue. Okay, initially localized but usually spread via blood and bone marrow in other sites. And the clinical symptoms is usually lymphadenopathy. Okay. How do we diagnose? Usually we utilize tissue biopsy, CD surface marker, and even cytogenetics because it could be related into genetics, okay, inheritance pattern. Okay. Um, and we could also utilize DNA and PCR testing. So they were grouped by the WHO as Hodgkin, B cell, T cell, and NK cell, or non-Hodgkin neoplasm. So for Hodgkin or the classical lymphoma, usually this is composed of 40% of your lymphomas and seen between ages of 15 and 35 and over 55 years of age, and mostly associated in male patients. So there is association with Epstein-Barr virus with your Hodgkin lymphoma. Okay, and there would be manifestation of your Riedstenberg cell, okay, which is found in your lymph node during biopsy. Okay, and your Riedstenberg cell is usually in B cell lineage. Okay, B cell yung lineage ng Rydstenberg cell. Okay? So for the WHO classification, we could classify them as to nodular sclerosis, wherein 70% are these subtypes and it has a lower association with Epstein-Barr. They could also be in mixed cellularities, wherein 20% are in this subtype and with highest association with Epstein-Barr virus. For lymphocyte rich and lymphocyte depleted, usually they are uncommon. And all of these types are associated with Rydstenberg cells. Next, for your Hodgkin, non-Hodgkin lymphoma. For your non-Hodgkin lymphoma, okay, 60% of lymphomas are non-Hodgkin. Okay, usually WHO separated your B cell, T cell, and NK cell neoplasm into condition in the precursor cells or mature cells are defined. Okay, so enlarged lymph nodes and could have also gastrointestinal tumors. Okay? Usually, patients over 50 years of age are seen more frequently also in males. So they have enlarged lymph nodes, okay? And B-cell neoplasm are more common. It includes Burkitt's lymphoma, okay, which is a phase of your non-Hodgkin's, and mantle cell, okay, and follicular and even other types of your lymphoma. Okay, cells can be small and mature. For example, in your small lymphocytic lymphoma and large primitive, for example, your precursor B cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. They can be slow growing or very aggressive depending on their type or in their mood, no? Walang sinasabi. Trip niya lang maging maging aggressive, go. Trip niya lang chill lang siya, matagal siyang lumaki, matagal siyang mag-progress, go lang. Yan. Next, your mycosis fungoides, which is cutaneous T-cell lymphoma. This is classified by WHO as your T and K cell neoplasm or non-Hodgkin lymphoma also, seen in patient of over 50 years of age, and cutaneous lymphoma causing skin itching and leading to ulcerative tumors. They could be having Sézary syndrome, wherein this is a variant of mycosis fungoides that is represented by a disseminated disease with widespread skin involvement and circulating lymphoma cell. Usually, it is positive with CD2, CDS, and CD4.